It works? Yes. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. We want to start. Please come and join us working.
We have rearranged a bit the program because I have to leave, sorry. I was not able to find a suitable flight in the afternoon, so I have to leave in about 45 minutes. So there was one point on the agenda which was related to the final meeting of the project. Probably you have seen this on the website. There are many information on the website already. The final Actis 2 meeting will be in Darmstadt, hosted by EUMETSAT between the 1st and the 4th of April 2019. It's supposed to start in the afternoon, so you can fly on Monday morning. We will have the introduction of the project and the presentation for the different work packages, where we expect to focus on results, because we expect for this meeting many users, people coming from outside. At least from EUMETSAT there will be many people. And then we have the science meeting on Tuesday, the entire day, and on Wednesday morning. And then on Wednesday afternoon, the discussion on future plans, plus the General Assembly, and also the Scientific Steering Committee meeting. On Thursday, the 4th, we have availability for side meetings, and there is, Friday is outside, but. So, you all should have received the call for papers to be presented. We can accommodate both posters and oral presentations, so there should be enough space for posters as well. So in principle, we don't have a real limit. The deadline for sending the contribution is the 12th of December. So we expect many contributions from this community, but as Ulla said yesterday, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, let's try to have a coordinated effort to present the things properly. There are things which are related directly to Work Package 2, which are only for the LiDAR part, others for the cloud radar part, but there are also a lot of things for the synergy. And I also expect to have something in common with the joint research activities. So there are a lot of activities which are coming from this work package and are fitting into the general 1, 2, and 3. So we have seen something for the modeling, something for the first joint research activity regarding absorption and so on. So we expect we need to find a way. I don't know if Ulla, you will send around again. No, you are just collecting the feedback from this work package, because we will have. Then we have to prepare the program accordingly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can discuss now what we have in mind.
What we have in mind.
So suggestions.
The suggestion is that this is at the final meeting, so I would like to really show the results, and results which could have also some long-term view for the future. So it's not only related to activities which have been done in Actis 2, but can have impact on the future activities. And because of EUMETSAT, I expect also something which is more also related to satellite, but also modeling, I would say.
So maybe we can make some notes and just brainstorm a bit. So what I have in mind is the smoke case of last year, where we have where we really have a network approach, and where we are preparing the paper now. So there should be very good results on the stratospheric smoke, which is a really exciting event. And maybe Holger can take care, because he's the lead author of the paper, and he can also take care of preparing contribution. Then we should do something with the models, maybe this data assimilation effort they did with the dust. So in this direction, I guess, with the dust people, we have a very good connection, and there should be, maybe we can give a bit larger overview of this dust-related things.
Yeah. Lucia, you were mentioning that you are planning a WebEx with them?
We have a WebEx 2 weeks ago, but we will meet again for understanding of which will be the contribution to be submitted there. And I will pass the information to everybody just to be sure that the important things are there. I'm pretty sure there will be something from ICMWF. Julie will send for sure something where they are assimilating the orient profiles. So it is a network level, and I think it's great.
Vasilis?
That's for sure.
And one idea, because we are in EUMETSAT, could be to expand our studies in other missions. For example, we have the 3MI.
Not anymore. It was not.
Okay, there is this 3MI, the polarized instrument for aerosol retrieval. We have GRASP there, Oleg is there, so we can use also instrumentation to validate from campaigns that we have and everything. And
So,
it's a mission that they have a lot of interest. So
yeah, I think this is a good idea, but then probably we need to identify one person to give a talk on not on only specific one mission, but to give an overview of what Actris is able to provide, in particular for the remote sensing part, to feed. So this would be good in a way that, even if we will see if probably we will ask them to give a couple of invited presentations from EUMETSAT, but to show that we know what we are talking about, that we are not, of course we always have to promote the dialogue with these kind of users, but we know already something, so we don't know that. So it's important that they know that we are prepared for the current missions, for the future missions, that we have plans, that something like that. So Vasilis, are you volunteering for that?
We should present our side.
Yeah.
Not have too many contributions from outside.
Exactly.
We use Actris data.
Exactly.
We should present ourselves.
we have to demonstrate how we can be helpful to them.
Exactly. That we know exactly what and also what are the plans for what is available now, what can be available in the
Developing.
future. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Dedulov.
We should include their results, not
Yeah,
vice
yeah.
versa. Not
Yeah,
we
yeah.
should invite people and they show what they do with our results. So we should be there.
Ula is there hosting the meeting,
Yeah.
so I suppose that they will ask us to have a.
They can have one or two presentations,
But it's
they
good
should
to
not
show.
use our meeting to present themselves.
No. And then Vasilis, then you can also put this in the more general context of Copernicus, which is not only CAMS, but also climate services, and in principle, also the other services.
We should also have the first Calva results from Aeolus.
Yeah.
So this should also be done. Either Arnaud or someone really from our project, together with the aircraft data and so on. maybe one of us can do it, or we can one of us can do the smoke, and one of us can do. Maybe I can do the Kalwal things.
So we have one specific case study. We have the modeling community. We can have one or two. I mean you can decide, because there could be something which is the entire Copernicus, and something which is more specific for some of the products that we have. In particular, if we start with CAMS, for example,
Yeah.
I will also present that.
We should not forget that we have JRA3, and they will make their own contributions properly.
No, I'm
not to overlap too much.
I'm not talking about that. Now I'm talking about what we are doing for providing data to CAMS.
Yeah.
So this is okay. So this is. I mean, I'm just looking at Lucia and Vasilis, because they can arrange themselves how to split the things, because I think it's also a good idea to show something which is covering the entire Copernicus activity, and then Kalwal.
For the Active service, for the use of Active services, I would propose to have two presentations, one referring to the use of quality assurance and single calculus chain by the Lalinet people, and the other one which is outside the EU. And from inside the EU, a presentation from the industry, the pickup of some technological solutions from actors to be embedded into commercial systems, or to improve.
You know, Doina, what I would like to have with some, because there is this kind of definition for the fiducial reference network, it should be stated in some presentation
this
that
is exactly what I propose.
Is ready for that, to fix everything. This is that. This is what is requested. We do that. This, and probably we do also something more.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's fine for me.
And I want to have the cloud people, please, involved in the discussion.
The cloud component is very critical here for satellites.
Yeah.
The microphone is in front.
Come to the microphone.
I mean, this is not a good style of working. I'm sorry.
So there's a few things we can do from the cloud point of view. There's always been the model evaluation, and we can do some long-term evaluation as well. So it's not just Actris 2, we can actually extend this back for a number of years. There has actually been some work done recently involving clouds as well in ESA. So we can actually try and ask some of them to see what they've been doing with our data. So that might be something that would be useful. So rather than just us showing what we're doing, if we can invite...
Yeah, but this was my concern, what I just mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. So
we should not... I mean, we should not make this a meeting for the users. It is our final event, and we should present what we do for the community, and not vice versa, what the community does with us. You know?
By the way, I would propose that the deadline is the 12th of December.
This is very close.
If we can come up with something a little bit earlier, so we can, and then of course there is, not in a way that we can a little bit coordinate this, huh? And then of course there will be space for posters where the different stations can provide things, or more details also for for the cars, legal, for Aeronet Europe, the things which are related to the project.
So I was not in this steering committee meeting, so this goes via the website.
It was sent already by Sabine to all.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't know what you discussed, how to proceed then. So we collect everything via this website, and then we meet in the WebEx and sort it out.
Sabine will collect the feedback, and then we will we will collect the things, and in January this will be fixed. The idea is to have the feedback before the end of the year.
If we identify then gaps after the 12th of December, we should invite people to to fill the gaps.
Yeah, and in particular for this, we already talked about the potential planned contribution. Also, if we want to have someone that we want to invite that can useful for us, it's not mandatory, because I think that we already have a lot of things to be shown. So I mean,
what about our steering, our science advisory board?
Ralph will come. I don't know yet about the others, but we were thinking that if we have cooperation with someone who wants to give a strong speech using actress data or using, I mean.
We have to foresee a talk for Ralph at least.
Ralph will come. Yeah.
But we have to foresee a talk for him.
And then the other topic is that there is.
I just think we should also discuss the contributions concerning the joint research activities, because we are strongly involved. I mean, we had this absorption thing.
I mentioned that, but you should also coordinate this with the joint research activity leaders.
Yeah, but okay, we do it within every. Okay, I thought it would be more efficient if we.
But the people are not here, and this is not the general Actis 2 meeting. So this is mainly on the shoulder of the work package leaders. But I mentioned that there are a lot of contributions from this work package to the people working in this work package, to the joint research activities. So I expect to see something there, and we need to
but you should be proactive and approach them.
Yeah, exactly. This is my message.
Not wait and then they do
don't wait.
what they do and don't.
This is also for you, Vasilis and Alexander. Yeah. The work done, because there are also a lot of campaigns which were done. It's also good to show the results from the campaign. So. Propose this to the different work package leaders.
We should decide also on the format of the presentation. It shouldn't be something like presenting scientific results. It should be a conceptual thing. Like, you have this data, it should be understandable by everybody. We have external audience, we have people that do not understand exactly the different techniques and everything. Because it's the last meeting, we should demonstrate how useful we are in different applications.
Yeah, but also showing results. I think in some sense we have the general work package presentations on the first day. So I mean, I don't think that we need to go back to mentioning the details of the different techniques. I mean, it should be general enough to be presented to a scientific conference, but it's
for the JRAs, for example, we have to demonstrate why absorption.
We
have to keep the
always
talks on
to
that
put
level.
it in the context. Yeah, sure. As a scientific conference, anyhow, to put it in the context.
I have an organizational issue. We met already the hotel bookings for Darmstadt, and we found that it is very difficult because there's a trade fair, and the hotels are already almost fully booked, or had been fully booked 4 weeks ago, or whenever we did it. So if you don't have booked, so please check this and do it immediately.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very expensive because they have the trade prices, trade fair prices.
Okay, so it's an additional issue. but then I'm looking specifically to Doina, but also to others, that we have the possibility to allocate specific meetings, even one-day meeting, but please contact Sabine as soon as possible, fixing this, because then we need to fix the rooms at UMETSAT.
Apparently there was a mistake yesterday. It's not Friday that is dedicated. So
we also have Friday, but in principle can be done.
We will not have the logistics on Friday.
On Thursday.
So for CARS people, think of Thursday, 4th of April as the technical meeting. And I will send around, I will inform Sabine, and I will send around to the CARS people this date for a really technical meeting. For that, I'll urge you to send me also the open issues to be discussed at this technical meeting. if there is an intention from the DC to meet, then it will be nice to have in the morning the very technical things separately, and then a joint meeting.
This is why I recommend you to ask to inform Sabine soon, because she probably know when there will be the DC meeting. I don't know if you have fixed it already. I inform Sabine so you can then.
I will coordinate
this.
with Lucia. Then.
Yeah. Yeah, but please pass to Sabine, who is collecting this kind of information for all.
So, Adolfo,
any other suggestion?
can you send a reminder to work package 2, maybe with a short summary what we decided now? Yeah, and send a reminder, because not so many people are here, and so we should make sure that the whole
for the
WP2 is
presentations,
informed.
yeah, for the presentations. For the meetings, it's something that Doina and Lucia will do directly with Sabine. Okay.
I just, if this okay, it's fine. But I have, maybe 6. Yeah, this is what we have discussed all.
I mean, this is what we encourage to do, and of course additional. I mean, you can send, of course, any contribution what is related to Actris. So this is an open science meeting, more or less.
Yeah, and then Olga, think about that something, if they cannot be accommodated later on because there are many contributions, we can always have the poster if necessary.
No,
so
but I mean, this is what we should, from our side, already have in mind for the oral presentations.
Yeah. But I mean, about 6 papers from this community is reasonable.
Yeah, sure.
It's a reasonable number.
Yeah.
Because we have 1.5 days, so I mean.
And then all your contributions to the JRA in addition. So you have to discuss that with work package leaders, with the 3 work package leaders. Okay.
Any further suggestion for this meeting? From you? From your side? No? So I will move to the next presentation.
No, to the work package 2 as a whole. So briefly summarizing what we discussed here, what we decided for the science meeting, and that we encourage any other contributions, of course, as well, but that we will focus on these topics.
Okay.
Maybe, Holger, you can exchange your notes with Adolfo.
There is another point on the agenda that is what do we do after the end of the Actris 2 project. And Ulla sent in the copy I had from the agenda, there are these 3 questions. Where do we go from now? What are the next steps? And how do we organize the technical part of Actris remote sensing in the future? There could be more questions, but I mean, at least we start with these 3. And I just wrote down my initial thought. Now we are working for Actris to establish Actris as a research infrastructure on long term. Most of our time and resources in the near future will be developed to the implementation of Actris research infrastructure, I would say in the period 2019-2024. But we still need space for science and development, and we need to find a way out to find some time for that and to keep the community together for that. So what are the next steps? Just to summarize very briefly, we will have we expect at the latest the ERIC Step 1 submission in February next year, starting, and this coincides with the official start of the implementation phase for Actris in 2019. We have to work now for the preparation of the InfraDev call. The deadline is March 2019. And of course, we have still active the Actris PPP project. So we still have this project that where part of the community can meet, and we can also think that we can make use of some of this meeting also for more technical discussion if needed. So if we focus mainly on the Actris 2 Work Package 2 scientific community, what are the opportunities? We have other common projects. Hopefully CAMPS will start, I don't know. MV Fair will start the 1st of January. There are other opportunities with Copernicus. There are the ISA Calval activities and workshops, and also other national and EU initiatives that should be always explored, even if they are not covering the entire community, but different groups. Then I already mentioned on Tuesday that there will be in 2020 a new opportunity for NI3 project, the same style as Actris 2, but this cannot be Actris 3. So it will be, now it's in the form of something like, it's like a pilot I3, so including always networking activities, joint research activities, and transnational access, but not for a single community, not for a single research infrastructures, but putting together more research infrastructures. So it's not yet clear how this will be done, but the call will be opened in the 2020. So I don't know yet if it will be something only really focusing on atmosphere, so it will be mainly Actris and IAGOS. And of course, this will be more or less the same budget that we have for Actris 2, but should be considered for a larger community. So we need to scale down the number of work packages and things. But if we have something in common with IAGOS, I think that I mean there should be enough space for us. And here we can really make use of.
You really mean IAGOS, not ICOS?
IAGOS.
IAGOS.
IAGOS. No, because I mean, there is this discussion, it's not clear to me, because ICOS is not really atmosphere, or is not only atmosphere.
Not only. No, I would appreciate having cooperation with IAGOS.
No, with IAGOS
would be very good. I mean,
will be
there are lots of
perfect.
points
Will be perfect. We speak the same language, exactly the same language. We are completely complementary, so it will be a great added value for us to have this project with IAGOS only, because then we can manage to handle, and I see space for technical and scientific development there.
Just, but it could be focused on some. You mentioned a pilot, so it means that.
No, it's called It's called a pilot because it's a new initiative from EC.
Okay.
Because they are always trying to explore the synergies among different.
But this means that it can be focused on a specific scientific topic.
No. It's not,
Okay.
it's always as Actris 2. It's an I3. Okay, it's an I3 project. As I said, networking. Then we can decide to have specific joint research activities. Okay. But some work should be done now, between now and 2020, in order to be sure that the call will be opened with the proper text, because we don't know yet. Yeah. But I just got the confirmation that there will be this call. Then, so we will follow that. Then there are also EU international conferences, specific scientific sessions where Actris is active, and we need to continue to be active with that and to be in touch, because all those meetings can be also a place where at least working group on specific task or specific topic can meet. There was always the discussion of this Actris conference, that at a certain point we have to start. Probably this year is not the best, next year, because but I mean, after we submit the step 1 and the implementation project, and I don't know if we have to wait after the step 2, but in any case, I think that at a certain point we need to establish formally an Actris conference. For example, not every year, but every other year, something like that. I think it's something that we need to do.
The planning is about 1 year of such a conference, so even if we do it after step 2, we have to start planning after step 1.
Yeah, but I mean, but if we cannot do it properly, I would say better do it 1 year later and to do it properly, because I mean, it's a question of also thinking about. But of course, we could also start with a big event. For example, if when Actors will become an ERIC, we will have a big event anyhow. So this could be the start of something, and then starting from this date, then we can plan every other year more scientific conference. But a big event after the ERIC will be established, will be done anyhow, and I'm sure that in Helsinki, Niku will organize fireworks, and I mean there will be and I think it will be good.
Let's have a big party.
No, when we will have the ERIC, guys, I have to leave him. When we will have the ERIC, there will be some formal meetings anyhow to be done. We can co-locate with this a 1-day scientific meeting for Actors. And for us, this is the time 0, I will say, and then makes more sense to organize and then at that stage we will have a unit in the head office also consider working for the dissemination, so it should be a little bit easier to work on those things. And then the most difficult question is how we organize ourselves for the technical part of the remote sensing in the future. And here I removed the Actris 2 because this is the entire remote sensing part. So it's really aerosol clouds and trace gases that we have a lot of things in common, and it's important for this part of the community to have the chance to talk and to develop things together. So we need absolutely to keep the community together. Let's see what will come out from the implementation project. We don't know yet if this will be funded, but in any case, what we will write in implementation, in the proposal for the implementation, is something that we have to do anyhow. So we have to find a way how to organize ourselves. And of course, we can make use of the Actors events, of conferences, as I said, the specific workshops. And I think that this community should already plan to have at least a workshop next year, probably 1 year from now, as we have already done. I mean, we did it in EarlyNet without funds. I think that we can do it also with Actors without funds.
We have discussed it already this week.
Okay.
And there are different options, because also Martial came up with a proposal to have a CloudNet workshop, and so the question was, do we need to split again and have specific technical workshops for EarlyNet, for CloudNet, and so on, because of course we have technical work to be done regarding the processing, the products, and so on, and this is always dedicated to a smaller community. But also we need to work on the integration. So maybe the format we have now is not too bad, to have some specific days and then common days. What is Martial is gone? He's not here.
I think in some ways it's actually quite nice to have a very specific integration workshop in some ways, because otherwise you're still trying to cover some technical aspects. So
scientific meetings
just
will be available, and where I expect that we will always coordinate to provide scientific presentation. I think that we really need to meet for technical things, because we don't have any other chance.
But there are also technical aspects for the integration that we do need to cover.
Exactly.
And in some ways they can be a little bit more tricky than the individual ones.
And this regards to trace gases as well. So we should have a remote sensing technical workshop, to my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think this format is very good, in the sense that we do have time for very specific technical things separately, but also common things. So the very specific technical things can be covered by theses in the future. and we have to reconvene for integration. So
Sorry, really, I have to leave. But as I said, really, we have someone working with already some national resources to do something, and I expect that from the topical centers and the data centers, we can have workshops, meeting, and training sessions, and we should make use of that.
Do you have more points? Because we
No.
can also continue
No,
this discussion
you can
without
continue.
you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I don't have more points.
so you have 5 more minutes? No?
3 minutes, yeah.
No. I mean, the technical question. We don't have the Actris 2 project next year, but we still have the PPP project.
Yeah.
So of course there is no funds in the PPP, but we can use it at least as an umbrella, I guess. Yeah. So that we announce it as an event within the Actris PPP. So that people know how to deal with the workshop, to which project to assign it. I mean, some administration needs this kind of dedicating the meeting. So if Nico agrees, we could have it as a kind of PPP event for preparation of the implementation phase.
Yes, certainly in some of these PPP events, we can also have part of the time dedicated for just operational part, even to some extent the content part from the science point of view.
Yeah, but I think that we can have also, Ulla is asking to have additional event. We can have additional PPP technical meetings.
I mean, we want to have an event like here, but because we cannot call it Actris 2 anymore,
we will link
we
it
just
to
need a name, you know, we need
But it's easy, because we can link it to the work package 5 or I mean, national facilities, and this is not an issue at all.
Yeah, that's PPP operational framework.
Yeah, exactly.
So just that we put it under this umbrella.
I kiss only Ulla.
I kiss all of you.
Let's keep in touch and see you soon with some of you already passes, huh?
So there will also be a meeting of the PPP in November next year, I guess. So the one in May is already scheduled. And then we will have another PPP meeting in November, I guess?
Yes, in November, the Actris PPP final meeting.
Yeah. So we have to think about how to schedule this, or if we do it... in between the two? What?
The 2 meetings in May and November, we could have this Actris operation.
In August. Okay, that will be difficult because now this November period was always quite convenient for this kind of meetings. And
we couple this with an actual Actris PPP.
No, this will not work. So we have to think about, we need a volunteer for hosting the meeting. We had an offer last year from Jana. Is it still valid? Yeah, but other proposals are welcome, of course. Yeah, Florence, Simone. Yeah, Florence would be also very beautiful, huh? Okay, so we have time to discuss that, think about, and so we want to keep this spirit. Yeah, so we want to make sure that we can continue working in this way. So are there any other comments to that what we have discussed here regarding the next steps, the next proposals to be done? Vasilis?
Maybe we have also to consider extra actions. We discussed yesterday about task forces. So this could keep together some of the work packages that we had within Actris 2, technical work packages.
And the other thing, to also include events such like the campaigns, which brings together everything here. Copernicus, ESA, Calval Actions. So we bring the ground-based component of factories. We have the Cape Verde campaign. We have Aeolus in front of us. So we have to keep the spirit and the activity in that term. And because we don't have so much budget to do it, we can use other projects that separate groups have here to coordinate something.
And I think the next meeting maybe gives us the opportunity to focus a bit more on this scientific work, because we don't have to work on the work packages of the project, so we can skip that. Of course, we have to work on the developments, what we decided this week, which next steps have to be done, where we also propose to have the working groups, task groups to work on the processing chains, to work on the dust issue, for example, and then those task groups can report or show their work, present their work, discuss their work in the workshop, but we can also host more of such common activities with the community to be presented in such a meeting and discuss, so
you
really
think
the scientific and the technical developments.
You think we should prepare that before Darmstadt and then decide there?
Yeah,
because
maybe
we still have the
can
umbrella.
think about until Darmstadt and then make a more dedicated proposal in Darmstadt and already work towards such a meeting maybe in September or October. I think not before the summer break, but after the summer break.
Okay. I mean, we still have the opportunity to exchange, to discuss and meet within Actors 2 and to take that in order to organize ourselves.
Yeah, this I think is good before we then enter the real implementation phase. Other ideas, comments?
Maybe in the agenda of the final meeting, we include a sum up or something. I mean, in the agenda of the final meeting, there is no way to include the the following steps, following plans, and to make these plans. Maybe we can make use of some time on Thursday for concluding.
Yes, like a WP2 site meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we consider that. And if there are no further comments on that, I would suggest that we continue with Adolfo with the upcoming workshops and conferences, which is very closely connected to this what we just discussed. And then after that, we may have a coffee break if the coffee is ready. I don't know how long you need. Or if we can also...
Adolfo, I think you have to take a mic. This one?
Yeah,
this one?
I have the one.
Thank you.
So as you have noticed, we have swapped the agenda because Celsomina had to leave. So we continue in this way, that we finish the second part and then we continue with the first part. And I think there are two things given by Adolfo. First, the upcoming meetings and workshops, and then also the report on the campaign support.
Okay, this is a brief report about things that have been already done, but I'll try to focus on future activities. Most of it's easy for me to present this because most of things have already been commented in these days. So let me have just a review of activities since the last Work Package 2 workshop in Delft concerning quality assurance activities. There was this Cloud Radar calibration campaign that has already been mentioned by Martial in Palaiseau in May. The LiDAR intercomparison campaigns in Ispra and Thessaloniki. The big LiDAR intercomparison campaign carried out by Volker, that started in September in France, and then he had a pilgrimage through several, from Palaiseau, Barcelona, Valencia, Granada, Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada, I thought that you had in Granada. No? Okay, then I was wrong. It was planned. I had it into my... Okay, sorry. So the Sierra Nevada, I should delete it. Okay, there were also field campaigns, and here I think that I'm not updated. I heard about many other activities during this week, but there was the evaluation of the shipborne aeronet that was also mentioned these days in the Polar Stern during May-June 2018, no? And actually the activities took place off the Portuguese or Spanish coast in late May or early June. There is a presentation, yes. There was the shipborne CloudNet observation of active clouds, and actually there is a poster shown over there, I think, about this campaign. And there was an ongoing activity in Granada since long ago, but that continued until May 2018 in the framework of the joint research activity 2 of particle flux measurements. So this is the past. Let's go to the future. The planned activities until the end of Actris 2 concerning quality assurance campaigns are this. This is not exactly a campaign, but I thought it was very related to the calibration Center for Radar Remote Sensing. So there is this workshop that has already been mentioned several times next week in Paris. Then there is the next Cloud Radar calibration campaign in Palaiseau next March. And then we have several field campaigns, the Concerto field campaigns that Chris mentioned in La Réunion, which is about to start in December and last until March. Then the lacrosse deployment at Punta Arenas that was already mentioned in Delft, and I think that Holger is going to update us, or Johannes is going to. There is also a link that where you can have detailed information, and then this setup of the mobile station on Polar Stern 2 that was already mentioned in the Delft workshop, and which is ongoing according to the plan. As far as Polar Stern. This is not existing yet. Okay, but I thought that. Okay, anyway. Okay, so I.
Polar Stern 2 is the future of ACT.
Mm-hmm. Okay, concerning training, I think, and you one can confirm me that there was a participation in the Hutiala Winter School in 2018. Do you confirm, Yuan? Yeah. Yes. Okay, with on the topic of interactions and feedbacks of atmosphere surface, and there is this planned activity in early December about the SCC, that for which there is a lot of participants planned. It's 20 something, 30 something. So this is a very populated training activity, which is important for to have the people acquainted with the SCC operation. And then the second CloudNet training school that Johannes will talk about with more detail in Munich next March. Then events, okay, past events in which Actris Work Package 2 has been participating are the International Workshop on Sand, Dust, Storm and Associated Dustfall in Tenerife last May. In the last EGU General Assembly, there were quite a number of sessions related to Work Package 2 issues. What? No, I'm coming to that. I didn't forget that. We had the International Cooperative on Aerosol Prediction, the ICAP 2018, the first European Leader Conference where I met many of you, and I think it was very well organized and it was a success. And we had also a participation in the IGERS 2018 in Valencia. So, well, about the upcoming events, I think that there is going to be a participation, I heard, in the AGU fall meeting, which is, no? Okay. Then we have this MET 2018 meeting at ISA Rin in Frascati, the UCP 2019 in Berlin in March, the EOLUS Calval and Science Workshop and ESRIN again in March. Most of them you can, okay, I inserted the links into the presentation. I think that most of these events are already announced on the web page, on the events part of the Actris website. But please, I would like to ask to people who are involved in organization or participation in these campaigns to, in case it is not announced, please contact me or contact directly Sabine to have them posted. Okay, then we will have also the EGU General Assembly in 2019. With at least 3 dedicated sessions in which Actris is going to be present. The one on radiative effects of aerosol forcing. There will be a specific LiDAR remote sensing of the atmosphere in which Ula and myself are involved as co-conveners. And the atmospheric desert dust characterization through remote sensing. So more things, the Central Asian Dust Conference that was already announced last year by Detlef, I think, and that was shifted to
Dietrich is organizing.
To this year. Then we have the ILRC, which will be held in Hefei in China in June. And then we will have also an international conference on fog collection and dew in Taipei. And then the SPIE remote sensing event with a conference on remote sensing of clouds and the atmosphere. And here I would like to stress that I'm involved in the technical committee of this SPIE meeting, and there would be the opportunity, 2 kinds of opportunities, keynote speeches in this within this remote sensing of clouds and the atmosphere conference, but also there I should check this, but there might still be an opportunity for a general presentation in which could be an opportunity to showcase Actris. I should check. In that case, it should be, let's say, this is the general, in the general, in the plenary session. This I was looking for the word in the plenary session, but in that case it should be we should think about that. It should be something spectacular with lots of an overview attracting attention. But that might be a good opportunity to present actors to a wider community. Okay, so
I have one more event which was not on your list, and this is the Living Planet Symposium. It's in Milan, 13th to 17th May.
In which dates?
13th to 17th of May.
Okay, so it would be here. Oops. So it's Living Planet.
Living Planet Symposium. This is an ESA event. So 13 to 17, let him write first.
And where is it?
In Milan.
And the dates?
13th to 17th of May. And this becomes more important because of our Carval activities. So this is.
And the other one, Doina, you mentioned?
There is one next week, so after 2018. Atmos. Yeah, so Atmos 2018. Again, an ESA conference. It is in Salzburg. Next week, so 20,
okay.
yeah.
Let's put it that way. Another one?
Yes, there's an ISTP next year in Toulouse.
Okay.
Also in May, 20 to 24.
20 to 24 May. Next one. And it's Toulouse, you said?
Yeah, Toulouse.
And the dates?
May 20 to 24.
Okay, this keyboard is, I'm not used to it. Okay, anything else?
I just want to ask a question about the ESA Med 2018 conference in 2 weeks. There's going to be a presentation at the network level? Or?
Okay, there will be a presentation from my side reporting about the actress. That event is something like a consultation meeting. So let's say ESA is asking to the people to underline which are the needs into the Mediterranean area about satellite observation and about supporting ground-based measurement and these kind of things. And I received yesterday an email where they are asking me to chair one session about the remote sensing observation. So yeah, I will be there with a poster and also an oral and chairing the session. So yeah. And I don't know if others send some posters, but we will be there.
So Atmos is the same. We are chairing one of the sessions, and we have several contributions from the actress side. There, I don't know if anybody else is joining this meeting, but is really about the atmosphere. So.
At Atmos, there are some contribution from, let's say, this UNADIX project, and there will be something about also our observation, area observation. So yeah, very nice. Yeah.
One conference that I do not see, at least in this list, is the European Aerosol Conference 2019. So it's August 25th to 30th in Gothenburg, Sweden.
The dates?
August 25 to 30.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Yeah, we have a list. So.
Is it possible to distribute this list earlier than the slides are available?
Okay.
Some of the events are over the corner.
Okay, I'll can make this. I can distribute this. This list or this presentation as soon as I'm back in Barcelona to the NA2 list. Then it's also my purpose, now that you mention it, to have the presentations posted as soon as possible, but the minutes will take a little bit more because it's a mess. My notes in my laptop, I have to edit them, heavy editing, and it's going to take me a lot of time. So, we were here. Okay, so I would like to make a call to report the publications we have, not only in conferences but also in journals. Remember that Actris 2 or Actris PPP should be or must be acknowledged, that publications must be reported either by uploading them to an open air repository, or if it is not possible, if you don't have one at hand, then by sending the DOI to the Actris Coordination Office. You can find guidelines for publishing and reporting at this link, but this link is not very clear. The sentences that you have to put are okay. They mention the grant number, but it's you shouldn't forget to add the name of the project beside the grant agreement number, because this way is much easier to identify.
I think, and we have advertised this several times, when we write papers, we should really refer to Actris and to EarlyNet or CloudNet or whatever is used. I often scan through the papers, and even if in the acknowledgement this grant number is given as support, there is nothing said about Actris. You can't find the word Actris in the whole paper. Yeah, even if data are published that are produced within Actris and you do your scientific research. And I think this is not a good advertisement. This is not a good sign for Actris as a whole. And we had this issue this week that I complained that the people called it Actris paper and did not, because I scanned the paper for the word Actris, it was not there. In the end, the grant number was there in the acknowledgement, but it was nothing said about Actris at all. Yeah, so I think this is really not good, and you should, in the introduction or wherever you can put it, you can say this work is done in the context of Actris.
There is another aspect. I think we are here in England, Brexit. Why? Because people were not aware what the European Union gives, what the European Union gives to them. And this is something which the European Union gives to us, the Actris. And I think the one thing we can do is that we can advertise, that we can show, yes, this is because of European Union. We have such a big project and we are able to work together and come together. And this is one thing how we can contribute to European Union not falling apart. Very important, I think.
Thank you. I guess everyone who really would like to keep this kind of activities should do it in the daily life.
I just want to add two things. One, many journals like ACP had the possibility to add, they asked for, which research project are you linked of, and so not only into the acknowledgement. This is very useful because if you put Actris there, then it is easier to find. If you Google Actris scientific papers, it will come out. So it's good for the visibility of Actris. And I want to add another thing about references, acknowledgement, similar for the Orient people. Remember to cite the data sets. They are journal as the other journals, as the other papers. Remember to cite the databases that are now published.
Okay, I think that we should ask Sabine to slightly modify the sentences that are found at this link to include clearly in them Actris in the sentence. Oops, no. Okay, so I'm coming to the Actris events. We had the Actris Community PPP meeting in Oslo in February, which was a very informative one, nicely organized. The general meeting in NAFPLIO with science sessions, whose main theme was biomass burning, and other Actris topics were covered in poster sessions. And then the Actris community meeting in last September in Prague. And then the future Actris meetings, Actris 2 is coming to its end, as you know. But we have this planning meeting for the implementation phase project in Brussels in December, which in principle is supposed to be attended by national contact persons, central facility leaders, but plus other key contributors. Not
planning to attend to this meeting. It's planning to contribute to the project. All these.
Yeah, sure.
The meeting itself will be
A planning meeting is.
Yes, the meeting itself will be for planning the implementation of Actris through this implementation project. But for technical reason, I would like to not call it planning for Actris implementation phase project. Because if you call it with that name, then you are not able to use Actris PPP money to go to that meeting. Because you are not allowed to use the project money for planning another project. So we are planning for the implementation.
So
by preparing a project proposal.
So what's your suggestion for the...
Just take the word project out.
I think this caused a lot of confusion, yeah, because people were not aware that this is about the planning of the project. And so I already got a lot of responses saying, I will not come to that meeting because it's not important.
It is important, and whom we have invited for the meeting is the national contact persons and the central facility leaders and other central people from the central facility consortia. So that's the core group of planning for the implementation in form of a project.
You don't like the word contributors either, no? It's
that's
you don't
the
like
word
the
contributors
word?
can be there. Yes.
Okay.
So how many people are coming to this meeting, in fact?
The list of persons invited is a bit more than 50.
Do you really think that this is practical?
For this first meeting, we need to have the availability for all these people to contribute. It might not be practical, but we have to start with a big group.
You have more than 20 countries, and you have to involve them. It's not so easy, but okay.
Okay, and then there will be the final event that was already dealt in the first part of this session, so I won't insist on this, except that, okay, the main theme is for those of you who were not in yet, is the use of Actris facilities by external and services by external users. So, okay, this is a personal call. I will have to prepare the deliverable 2.16, which deals with the NA2 user support activities. So the structure I'm planning for this report is the same than for the first one. So it would be reporting annual workshops and general meetings in Actris 2, the field campaigns and quality assurance campaigns, schools and seminars, quality assurance, blah, 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 and documentation and line support. It has many intersections with other deliverables. And this is to apologize for, in advance, for pestering you in the next months or next weeks, requesting information about these things. So many of you will receive emails from me. I will try to prepare a skeleton of the report with the information I have, and I will ask you to complete possible missing activities. And I think that's all, but there is something that I forgot that I should have mentioned earlier in this week, is about the posters that are shown in this room. I would like to ask you, to the authors, to send me the PDFs of those posters to have also them available on the Actris website. So I forgot to do that, so I'm afraid that I will have to send also a reminder to the authors for them to send me the PDF of the posters, and probably I will have to set up a Dropbox or something, because usually the poster PDFs are heavy and don't pass through the email. So be prepared if you author a poster to also to respond as soon as possible to have this information available. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adolfo. I have one more point before we go to the coffee break. Just a minute. Now I forgot my point. Yeah. What we have not discussed in the next steps is that, of course, one important thing is that in many countries there are national roadmap processes. So many of us work on the national level and start with implementation work for Actris. So several countries have already provided funding. This means that a lot of new instruments are coming around. So many people think now about ordering new instruments, upgrading the stations, and so on. And we should not see this as a pure national process, because there are the Actris requirements. These instruments need to be controlled by the topical centers, and we would like to urge everyone who is now taking action for ordering new instruments, designing new instruments, making decisions on upgrade of the stations, to do this in collaboration with the topical centers. So if you need advice, if you want to have checked what you order regarding the requirements, please contact the topical centers. These consortia are approved now. We do have them in place. They have to organize themselves to implement the topical centers, but they are also available for giving suggestions and helping you, especially if there are, say, new stations, new countries coming in which have no experience in the remote sensing part, for example. So please contact the responsible people. They are there to help you and to make sure that the requirements are fulfilled. This can save you a lot of money and other efforts in the future.
Yep, there is something directly connected to that, visibility of Actris, because all of these new instruments, they probably have a label, METEC or Metrics or whatever, but do we have one for Actris and European Union? I think we should have something to put on every instrument, something big. For example, I wanted to have also something for my trailer where it's clear it's Actris, European Union, and then maybe something additional, mobile, LiDAR station or whatever. And such a thing we should have for every Actris instrument. But I think it is impossible that everybody searches for our own. So do we have a provider for such a thing? Okay. A next point before I forget it. I was asked several times, the quality assurance tests for the EarlyNet measurements, which go to the EarlyNet database, are totally independent from Actris or whatever. That means as long as they go to the database, the measurements, they need a quality assurance label also. So you have to continue to make these quality assurance tests and send them to me, and whether I get money or not, we have to keep the EarlyNet database quality assured, and this has to be continued. There is no interruption because of any project ending or so.
Please write this down, and we make a formal announcement to EarlyNet about this, okay? And Nico can say us a bit about it.
Yes, for these Actris labels to put on all your instruments, etc. Currently, the biggest size we have is this one, but let me know what size you need. We can have stickers, we can have on whatever material, and I think that this is part of the coordination thing. Just let me know what you need. Of what size?
Maybe you can also...
Unfortunately, I don't have these stickers with me now, but just let me know and I will send you. Yeah, so it also needs to be on other materials, but we will prepare that, yes.
Yeah, but you could also send the file so that we can give it to our company.
Yes, it's actually already on the Actris website.
What I'm missing is the European Union flag. It is, I mean, Actris is something. Nobody knows Actris. We have to make sure that it is connected somehow to European Union.
Yes, actually, currently, with these Horizon projects and with the implementation projects, Actris is connected to European Union. But officially, when it's research infrastructure, it's no more directly funded from European Union. So it's not exactly connected in the strict sense. Yes, it's a European Research Infrastructure Consortium.
Not to extend this discussion too long, we will have an Actris label in the future for the national facilities, and this will also be a visualization of. So this is part of the labeling process. It is already written down that the head office is responsible for providing a visualization of the Actris label of a national facility, so that you can put it on your door or on your trailer or whatever, wherever you want it.
Just a reminder for the quality assurance test, the deadline for this year is 31st of January next year.
As every year.
I just wanted to go back to Volker's earlier comment. You still have to be a bit careful being able to say if a manufacturer provides an instrument, it would have an Actris label, because it's not just the instrument itself, it's how it's set up, whether or not it's in combination with another instrument for certain things. So just allowing a manufacturer to say, I have this instrument, it has the Actris label, would be a little bit difficult. So it's not sufficient, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, we should not label the instrument Actris instrument. I mean, we need a label to indicate that we use the instrument in Actris, but not vice versa, that we give a stamp to the instrument that it is Actris compatible.
The point is, in US they have NASA emblem, and and you see NASA very often in very different aspects. Yeah, NASA. Huh? Yeah, it is everywhere, NASA. But what do we have here? Actris is a very big thing, and we need something which is really visible and also connected to. I mean, NASA. Everybody knows US. NASA, US. Actris, we don't know anything. Yes. It's not connected to.
Yeah. I think we are making progress. We have Julia in the coordination office responsible for this kind of communication work, and they are very helpful. So if you need anything, you could always contact the coordination office in Helsinki. They are very helpful with such kind of material. So now let's have coffee break until 11, and afterwards we continue with the morning session originally planned with the presentations, and I hope that we can finish, say, by 12 or 12:30 with the presentation, so that everyone can leave in time.
We are starting. Do you want to make some announcement or?
I would like to copy, but okay, doesn't matter.
To copy what?
Some presentation.
Okay. Are you in a hurry? Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, Lucia, your taxi will arrive in 20 minutes.
Okay.
Your taxi will arrive at 1.
At 1?
Where?
Thank you.
Outside is what they said. Yeah, I don't know where exactly, but I told them Club de Havilland. I asked if they know where it is, and so the other drivers know.
Okay.
If they don't, then they will call me.
Okay. I go to copy.
Your taxi will be here at 2:30. And where's Canada?
Granada?
Yeah,
Lucas was outside. The mic. Lucia asked me to for a couple of seconds to copy something that she wanted to. Okay, but then we start, and also.
Because I made some changing, some modification of my presentation, and I want to copy for them.
Okay, to have the latest version.
Yeah, yeah. I'm finishing.
Okay, I think that we are ready to resume this second part of the session. And we will start with these reports on campaigns. And the first one is going to be about the ongoing activities and at Punta Arenas in Chile.
Okay. So I'm just giving a short overview about what is currently going on at Tropos, and so we have shipped our equipment, our lacrosse mobile facility, to Punta Arenas in Cyprus. Basically, we were just at Cyprus, I wanted to say, because it was there. The air is so polluted and very very dirty. So, and then we want to contrast this by going to Punta Arenas, Chile, because the air there is really one of the cleanest you can find on the planet, because there is really nothing polluting the air. So that's our facility at Cyprus. We put that first to Leipzig, cleaned it, and then sent it to Punta Arenas, and to show that Punta Arenas does not only give us pristine conditions from the perspective of aerosol load, but it also gives us really pristine conditions from the number of remote sensing measurements, ground-based remote sensing measurements. So you have a lot of campaigns from the ARM program and from CloudNet, and so you have a lot of measurements from these quadrants, I would say. But here in the Southern Ocean, you you can hardly find anything. So that's a motivation for us. And that's, I wrote here live. It's not live, but it's much more than real time. It's 15 minutes ago. Martin Radens sent me this picture. And so you can see one of the lacrosse containers here, and so they will be placed there today. And next week, Patrick Seifert and Ronnie Engelmann will go there, and they will build up the station, set up the station together. Yeah, that's the impression from Chile, and yeah. So the dust load in Punta Arenas itself is actually quite high, because you have a lot of erosion and a lot of dust that is transported from the soil, the raw soil dust. But the anthropogenic effect in Punta Arenas is really very low. So at least in the free troposphere, the air is completely clean. Yeah, that's the standard situation. Sometimes you can have dust from Australia or from Patagonia, but that's rare. Yeah. Okay, and then I want to announce another activity, the activity that was mentioned before, our CloudNet training school. So as you can see, we did our first CloudNet training school at Limassol, Cyprus in 2017. So this concept is new. It's a completely new training activity within CloudNet. And just to give you an impression what we did during the training school. So the training school was intended to be an entry point to CloudNet. So we do not only just teach people how CloudNet works, because if you look at it, it's actually quite simple. So we did a lot of effort, and using Actress products, using CloudNet products is actually quite trivial. So, but running the software, building it up, and so actually using the data and doing something useful with it, that's not trivial. So that's our goal with the training school. So last time we set up the CloudNet software at 4 new sites, and at one established station we updated the software. There was a workshop about Cloud Radar spectral processing, and there was the first implementation of a WRF model for comparison with CloudNet software. That was the WRF model of the Cypriot Met service. Those guys were involved into this project. So this is really one step ahead of, I would say, an application in CloudNet, but that's where we start these processes. And the second CloudNet training school will be held from 10 to 15 of March 2019 at Munich. Those are the institutions currently involved. So Tropos, LMU, and DLR and LIM are organizers. ESA is sponsor. And but I could name a lot more institutions here, but then the whole slide would be full. Basically, it's everybody who is involved in the CloudNet project also is involved in the training school. So the general idea is to assemble the CloudNet developers and use them, the experienced people, to teach new people how to develop stuff within CloudNet. We have presentation about upcoming techniques that are just evolving within the CloudNet network, and we have support. We provide support for new CloudNet sites. So if someone has problems with their software or wants to implement a new software, that can be done during this training school. So the concept is quite open, but we provide certain, I'd say, highlight topics, and we invite some experts. For example, this year, of course, we provide the basic technical lectures about Cloud Radar LiDAR and so on. But this year, for example, we also have specialists that are concerned with multi-wavelength radar methods, namely Stefan Kneifel and Heike Kalesse. And we invited Aki Johansen to tell us more about the new forward operating methods, because this is really a paradigm change in compared to the old method of comparing CloudNet to models. So in the old paradigm, it was going from the CloudNet measurements to a product, let's say ice water content or something, and now you go from the model and produce something that looks like a CloudNet dataset. That's a paradigm shift, and this is why it's a new method. It's for the future, and this is why we try to highlight this here. So the registration will be via Actris website, and I think we will manage to open it at the end of November. And we actually doubled the number of travel grants since the last training school. So we already have some funding for travel grants that should be enough to enable some students from outside the CloudNet community or the Actris community to attend. And if there's some money left, we also can spend it for the Actris community, but we really expect that the Actris community also supports this activity. Exactly first, and then the travel grants are for the people, for the widening, let's say, of the network. So yeah, that's from my side. Thank you. Do you have questions? Especially for new sites, for new CloudNet sites, this is a good concept. So if you know someone who is actually new in the network, please tell them that there is this activity, because it really offers a kickstart, and we had good experience from the last time. Okay. What's next?
Yeah, no, but I found this one. Okay, I think that this is all with respect to formal presentations. I think that Michael wanted to... oh, there is one still one left. Sorry.
Shall I take this one? Or? So I would like to present you a short contribution. Where is it, Johannes? Now this is on some stick. Yeah. Okay, I quickly wanted to present some results of our last finished Polarstern cruise in spring this year, and this is maybe of interest because we had the first time this, let's say, ship-proof CMIL on board, which was provided by Aeronet Europe, and we had the chance to compare it with 3 different instruments, with our poly lidar, so the handheld sun photometer, and also a shadow band radiometer. So this is the content. I quickly will present you something. So this is the Polarstern, which we usually cruise on, and on this ship we had the poly, the photometer, head pro, and all sky imagers, and also some radiometers. And the cruise was from Punta Arenas, which is actually funny because now the containers are going there, but this time we went from Punta Arenas to Bremerhaven, and 3 colleagues from Tropos were on board, namely Martin Radens, Christopher Jimenez, and Yin Chenping. So the overview about this, he called it a ship photometer, this ship-proof sun photometer, is You can see it here, so it has a compass antenna, obviously, to get all the tracks. Then have a photometer with an air piping system, which you see here. You have an anemometer, an optical humidity sensor, which is here, and you have also this well-known electrical box. So, from my not expertise view, you see that you just have two more facilities to use, and the advantage is that you have some auto tracking. You have anti-sea spray you have anti-sea spray facilities and wind speed monitoring, so that if the winds are too strong, the sun photometer will not be damaged. The sun photometer was equipped on our Polarstern container, so just here, and here you have just two images of it, how it looks like, and together it looks like this, so that we have the OceanNet container just between 4 other containers, and then you have other equipment on top, and here the LiDAR beams are going out. So what's about the validation? So first I would like to show you an overview. This is now the CMIL and the Microtops AOD for different wavelengths. So this is 380, 440, 670, 870, and this is the integrated water vapor. And this is shown here in terms of aerosol optical thickness. So you see we have some kind of 3 different periods. So we have marine aerosol here and also here where we don't have any dust. Then we have pure dust conditions here and also some mixed dust. Coming to the comparison, we have to say that we had the CMIL and the Microtops, which is well known. We also have a Turbos-built shadow band radiometer, which is also available to measure the AOD, and we had the Poly XT LiDAR. And what you nicely can see in principle, this is the time series for all instruments that we have roughly good agreement. For the marine cases, there was a very good agreement here, also for the dust, mixed dust cases, and in cases of really strong dust, we have, for example, seen that the shadow band radiometer, indicated by this yellow rectangles, underestimate the optical thickness, but the optical thicknesses of the sun photometer and also the Microtops, they agree very well. And the Poly XT, you have to imagine that it's not always the same time, because we use the Raman channel, so it's slightly time shifted. But in principle, I think we can be very satisfied with these results. And if you check also the results from the Angstrom exponent, which is shown here, it is very well. Sometimes you see that you have some points which do not fit, but I think this is just some retrieval issue. To sum this up, if you make if you plot the sun photometer versus the shadow band radiometer or versus the Microtops, you see that the agreement between the photometers is very well. While with the shadow band radiometer, we have this issue that as soon as you have a strong dust load, you have too much forward scattering and the AOD is underestimated. So now I just would like to present you a very short case study, because I like this so much. This is this case of trimarine aerosol. So what we have seen quite often during such cruises, that you have a marine boundary layer. Shown is here the volume depolarization ratio, and that at the top of this boundary layer, you have these regions where you obviously have a high depolarization. And in this case, at nighttime, we could also determine the relative humidity, and you see that at the top of this layer, the relative humidity is really dropping. So here from values about 80 or 90, you get suddenly values of below 20%. And this is also the reason for this polarization feature, because below 46% relative humidity, you have the crystallization of sea salt, and then they get some kind of known spherical shape, and you have an increase of the particle depolarization ratio, as is nicely seen here. Yes, so this is just the optical properties for this period here, and I don't want to go too much into detail, so you just see the backscatter coefficients, extinction, but what you see is this increase of the depolarization ratio, where you have a decrease here of the backscatter, but at the same time you have also very strong decrease of the relative humidity. Yeah, so this is all I wanted to say. So in principle, we are very satisfied with the first results of this mobile CMIL, and also the French guys. We couldn't stay any longer here. Are very happy with this, and I think it's really promising results for future ship cruises. Okay. Any questions? Yeah. Ligo?
So you said something about an air piping system for the photometer. Can you say a few more words about this? What's that?
No, sorry. I think it's really a pity that Aeronet Europe has already left. I personally have never seen the setup because I was not on the ship.
But do you know if this is related to the sea salt and the effects of the sea salt on the system?
Yeah, they have something what Yin Chengping has written here, anti-sea spray contamination. He means anti-sea spray, that you have some facility to avoid this. Yeah. Yeah, it's an airflow, yeah.
The collimator.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
The collimator. So that you don't have this sea spray contamination, which obviously can be very strong. And I think this is also the reason why they still, if the winds are too strong, they just stop measuring. So,
okay. And do you know if this is available from CMEL, or is it an in-house system or something like that?
I think the posters are now off, but it was advertised already from CMEL.
Ah, okay. So okay.
I think you can get it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, more questions?
No?
Not a question, but...
Sorry if I missed it, but the auto tracking of the CMEL is the one which is already existing inside the standard CMEL, so it was a special feature. It's the loop track which constantly looks for the sun? Or?
Yeah, I think so, because during this cruise we had the problem that it was looking for the sun too heavily and made too many rotations. Yeah, but I really hardly can't answer you. Have to ask Simil and Philippe.
I think the issue is that the coordinates always change, so the sun position changes continuously. So the auto tracking needs to know about the coordinates. I mean, if you are at a fixed point, the photometer knows where the sun should be, and then could just make a little adjustment. But if the coordinates change, it should know where it is and where the sun is in this place. So there needs to be a new auto tracking.
Okay, then I think that now it's the end of formal presentations, I think, unless I'm wrong with the program. Then I think that Michael wanted to make an announcement.
Just a reminder about a special issue open in the Journal of Remote Sensing about pollen remote sensing and pollen transport forecast modeling. So it was the special issue is in the Journal of Remote Sensing. It was open until November of this year, and we are going to ask probably for renewal for 1 more year. So if you have any work dealing with pollen particles, then I encourage you to submit to the... I'm one of the co-editors, and then there's one aerobiologist also, and one modeler in the team. So I encourage you to submit your work to this special issue. Thank you.
We have skipped some presentations in the last days, and so who feels that we need to present something else? I mean, Holger, you were skipped yesterday. Would you like to give this presentation? I think it fits to this session because it's also about campaigns and mobility of systems, and also some experience we have in this context.
Okay, so yesterday I wanted to say something about our experiences from 2 field campaigns which we had in Cyprus and Israel, and there are many people involved. So these are just some of them. And just to let you know, so we had this 1.5 years of field campaigns here in Limassol, Cyprus, and at the moment we are still running a LiDAR in Haifa, so it's, I think, until the end of the year at least. So we are very satisfied with the observations and very interesting cases. And we have supplied there our poly LiDAR systems, and which measure there really automatically. Especially in Israel, it was issue to get it running because of air safety. So now we have even 2 aircraft safety radars there, and the channels, the system itself has always 12 channels and 2 telescopes, and we do this dipole calibration 3 times a day. And this is what I simply wanted to show in case of for continuous running LiDAR, that if you can make this dipole calibration and then you plot the dipole calibration over this whole period, so this is for almost 1.5 years, you see that the calibration constant itself is really stable for at least our systems. And then when we make a system change, like change of neutral density filters or laser, then you see a change. But in principle, there is not really a need to make this 3 times a day. But on the other hand, this could be also used as a quality check. Yeah? If you just know, okay, in principle, it should be stable. So this is the experience from Israel for the dipole calibration constant, measured with this 45 plus minus 45 degree method. Volker suggests. We also analyzed the LiDAR constant. So this is shown here. These are 2 years of measurements. We have therefore an automatic retrieval, so similar to the SCC, but not yet the SCC. And here you see the LiDAR constant retrieved with the Raman method, and the black stars are some manual analysis a student of us has done. And what we see first is that we have a really good agreement between the manual analysis and the automatic one, which is very good for us. And concerning of LiDAR performance, you see that you really have this kind of, I call it system degradation, but it's just always if you change the flash lamp, you really see that the laser power gets a little bit weaker. So this always happens here. So you start, then you put on the laser, it gets weaker, then maybe a flash lamp exchange, the power is high again, and then something like this. So from our experience, we still have a very stable system, but this kind of everyday calibration is really needed to have also this new high resolution product we want to have in the SCC, so this kind of calibrated attenuated backscatter coefficient. Here in Haifa, in the end, we did not, during this year, I think we didn't measure continuously anymore, just to save some flash lamps. Therefore, the period is not that dense like before. And what we can do with this is shown here. This is just 1 month, so for October 2017, see the range corrected signal at 1064 nanometers. This is the calibrated volume depolarization, and here's this target categorization, which we have already discussed. And you see that you can really nicely have an overview about the atmospheric conditions, and based on this, you can also pick some scenes which you would like to use for your investigations. In Cyprus, we have the same experience. So concerning the dipole calibration factor, it's very stable. We had only 1 major system change, but in principle, the method is really robust, and we trust in these calculated values then. For the LiDAR constant, we have tried there even different methodologies, which is shown here for 355, 532, and 1064. So we use the CLAD method, then the Raman method, then the CLAD method constrained with the sun photometer, which is a kind of synergy. And we even tried again to use the O'Connor cloud calibration method, even so we know that it might not work. What you first see that the first 3 methods agree very well. And for the cloud method, we had to try this because we have some campaigns in the Arctic, and there we have mainly clouds. So we wanted to get some experience what we can out of this. And the message was that for 355, for some cases, we can use this kind of cloud calibration method maybe, but for the other wavelengths, it's really not possible because you just have such a high signal. This is now the long time record for Cyprus, so you have a similar pattern than on Haifa, but in principle it fits very well, and you see that you need to make this kind of calibration really on a daily basis, let's say. And this is now the final part where I want to say why we want to do this all, because I think you really have to switch to the continuous measuring mode also for the Synergy products with CloudNet and all the other things. And this is just an example from Cyprus on the 27th of March. So here you see this LiDAR, the LiDAR target categorization. Here you see the CloudNet target categorization and the vertical wind speed from a Doppler LiDAR. And you really can see, okay, if you now try to combine all these, we really can get some new products out. And this is what actually is the goal for our synergies. And therefore, it's also important that you have this continuous measurements with a multi-wavelength LiDAR. Why I'm saying all this? Because I looked in our inventory, and I think at the moment we have only 3 stations in Europe. That means only, but we have 3 stations where you have a multi-wavelength LiDAR and CloudNet. But in future, if I look at the inventory 2025 plus, maybe I forgot something, we have many stations. And this is really promising. But at these stations, of course, you also need to have continuous measurements with the LiDAR. So to conclude, so we need these LiDARs for the synergistic retrievals. We have a really good experience with the depolarization calibration. This is a stable factor, and it can be used for quality assurance. The LiDAR constant or LiDAR system parameter retrievals work well, so even Raman and Klett method is really good. The cloud calibration did, as expected, not work very well, only at 355 due to signal oversaturation, and therefore I would suggest that you have to perform on a daily basis this LiDAR constant calculation. And as an outlook, we will try to test new lasers for 2 new systems. This is this diode pumped innerless laser, and I would be, maybe we can see then if we still have the same experiences of this kind of signal weakening, or if the laser is supposed to be that you can run it 1 year continuously without any change with this diode pumped system. And this will be installed in our LiDAR systems in Dushanbe and in Limassol for the next, which will hopefully be ready this year. And yeah, I think that's all. Are there any questions?
Okay, no? Questions to Holger? I think this will be a good starting point for our next workshop. So to take this up again and look at what we can do in the future with the synergy and with the continuous monitoring and the new products, and also the experience with new systems. Ewan?
Okay.
Yeah, so you were talking about the cloud calibration methods, and you're saying you've got saturation, but what altitude were you looking at?
Yeah, so
because you can use supercool liquids, will have the same properties.
I think for this methodology, we have looked for liquids or for liquid clouds, but still at the, I mean, there the focus was really on aerosol, so we had really a too high signal on the slow clouds in Cyprus. But at 355, where you have more molecular scattering, it worked somewhere. But our interest was just if we go to the Arctic and we have clouds every day, maybe, and we are more interested in the clouds, then we add more filters that we maybe still can do the calibration then. So
I'm just thinking that if you're on somewhere like, in some other locations, you'll be able to use supercool liquid clouds at say 8 kilometers, and you could still try the method then.
Yeah. Chenping hasn't done this, I guess. He has only used where he was really sure, but of course, if he could go up, maybe we can see. So if you have some advice, I think it's important, not for our southern European stations, but also now in Finland, you have very often periods, 4 weeks of cloud deck maybe, and not many times for do a calibration. So it would be really good to find some solution to calibrate somewhere in between.
Yeah, I know low-level liquid is a challenge, but the upper-level liquid should be.
So maybe we can check for Cyprus for some days.
you might insert an additional neutral density filter just for this calibration. I mean, a filter that you know well.
Yeah.
And then remove afterwards.
This is the problem of knowing this well, but of course we could do the calibration for the cloud, and then if we have cloud free, we could check if it...
You can measure the filter in the LiDAR lab.
This could be... I think we should think about something of this.
Can this be done automatically, this?
There could be something like this. I think if you have experience, I think as we have next year this this Arctic, it's not a cruise, this Arctic being there for 1.5 years, it would be really good to have maybe something like this and think about this before. Maybe we can try this in Davos already, where we have semi-Arctic conditions. Maybe we come back to you how we could do this.
Okay, other comments, questions?
Okay.
Other presentations? Single chain school was announced already. No presentation on that.
Registration is still open. I think that no body from Potenza is here.
No, but I can say something, or Ina. So the registration, is more or less closed. We ask already the participants to really prepare for this. And for those who may be still in the room, I really encourage you to do some homeworks before, that we can do really efficient during the school. And I think my personal goal is also that we get many systems into the SCC and get them running, and that we have really some result also after the school, in having many people or many stations can use the SCC. But if somebody wants urgently to join, I think then you should contact Giuseppe. In principle, it maybe is still possible.
Yeah, maybe you have seen this on Twitter. I would like to mention this because during this week there was a conference in Brussels of the Co-op Plus project. This is a collaboration of different environmental research infrastructures, and they made a conference and they invited also actors to participate. And because we had problems to send someone there, because we are all here this week, but we wanted to have the remote sensing part presented there. So we urged Albert to go there and speak for Actris. He was not very happy about. But in the end, obviously he was successful and the people were impressed, so that they even tweeted his presentation. And so I would like to take the opportunity also to thank officially, maybe we can put it in the minutes, that this opportunity was taken, and we had some kind of outreach here also towards the other infrastructures. And so I think this will also be a task for the future, that we more and more collaborate between the research infrastructures, environmental research infrastructures, to even get more collaboration, more synergies with other communities. And you see the nice aerosol and cloud presentations here. So this was what I wanted to say. If we don't have any more contributions, any more questions, announcements, then I would like to come to an end of the workshop. I think we had a quite productive week. I have not made an official wrap-up or something like that. We have already had some repetition of the most important things. I don't need to repeat this again. I think we have now a concept how we want to continue. So we know that the end of Actris 2 will not be the end of our common work. We need, we know what needs to be done. need to continue the developments at the instrumental level, at the processing level. We have good concepts. We have now the topical centers being established. Implementation phase for those topical centers will start. I think you are all working on your stations in your institutions. You know what is to be done to upgrade them accordingly to the ACTRIS requirements. As I said, if anyone needs help, please contact the experts here in this group. And yeah, I think this is the way we go. We know how that we will meet in the future. We can also have ad hoc meetings of smaller groups if this is necessary. So don't hesitate to be active, to encourage your colleagues to work together, and be present in the meetings, present ACTRIS well, always acknowledge ACTRIS, advertise ACTRIS as much as possible. We also have some tools also via the website where we can always put something to advertise what is going on inside of ACTRIS. Then in the end, I would like to thank again our hosts, in particular Matthias and his colleagues who very nicely organized everything here. I think we really had a very convenient meeting. At least I feel always very relaxed here, next to coffee, next to fruits, and next to a nice environment, having the posters, having good environment for discussions. This is what we always try to have in the workshops, and I would also like to emphasize that we made it over the last 4 years to always have a workshop location which was stimulating for discussion, for common work, for having breakout sessions, for having going together to the pub or whatever, but always work in the sense of ACTRIS together. And I think this is the most important thing that we should keep in the future, yeah? Not to make it too formal, but also have it as a family event. And this is always very important, that we have good hosts who know about these concepts and who make it possible to meet. So thank you again very much, Matthias and colleagues. Any other announcement, speeches? Yeah, Matthias? So have a safe trip home. Here. It's yours?
No, it's not. There is somebody who forgot. Okay, Johannes. Okay, don't switch.